And it's about time that the elders and the young'uns in Rastafari come together with a serious reasoning and put forward a committee to go and represent Rastafari and the upliftment and the building of Rastafari in this country, Barbados, and then we could spread it through the rest of the Caribbean. We've got to come together, put a committee together, and go personally to Mr. Thompson, because there's a lot of issues in Barbados that we need to let these people know that Rastafari don't stand for that. Now, Bonga Lights here, he's trying to run an establishment where he could take X amount of pride in it. There's a lot of hooligans out there that when they see something happening, they will try to bring it down. And the establishment is used that as an excuse to, when they see Rastafari looking like they're flourishing, to come and put a stamp on it. People nowadays, they call it profiling and all the rest of it. Me, I've lived through it already, but it wasn't coming from my people. It was coming from the common enemy in Europe. But I witness it here in Barbados, and it's got to stop. But it's not going to stop until we as Rastafari could organize ourselves into like a legitimate feeding ourselves, giving us employment, creating farming industry, the clothing, the tree. Listen, there's so much things that Rastafari.
And recently I've added is the movie industry.
The movie industry. Give me a chance in Bajan.
Yeah.
Give us a chance and see what Rasta can do. That's all we're asking for in Barbados. And what we're saying is this. As Bonga Lights was saying, this is a very important media, because I could sit down here and I could reason with you, and not only you in Barbados, but reasoning all over the world. In this said building here before, Bonga Lights set up a paper where he wanted to see Rastafari go. I was one of the men that was privileged in holding one of these papers. And what I would like to tell Bonga Light now, in front of everyone, you see, at the time, I said that was such a brilliant idea, what that paper represents, right? And you see that paper there? That paper is got to be known by everyone, not just Rastafari, by everyone, because as I tell you, it's a growing group, right? And somebody who will read it today as what we call a bald head, tomorrow or next week, he could have the fullness of his growth, right? The fullness of his growth. And that is another subject too. There's a lot of people out there, they look at Rastafari and they say, yeah man, I is Rasta too, you know. Although I ain't got no locks and things, like I is Rasta. I know that, you don't have to tell me that. But what I'm saying is this here, in Babylon terms, right, there's such a word as when you get married and when you do all kind of things, you go for a job and all them kind of things, right? They say that you've got to have commitment. And you see, this is what I call commitment. And you're seen now for who you are. When you say I'm Rasta, I know that because I is Rasta and I know a Rasta when I see one. But like, so does everybody. So you telling me you's Rasta now, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Of course, but still, you know, Rasta, you come like what they used to do to black people in South Africa during the apartheid system. If a black man had to go certain places where a black man wasn't supposed to go, they would have to make him an honorary white man first before he could go in there. So like, there's a lot of honorary Rastas around the world. And what we as Rasta is looking for is like when you look up, you can see a Rasta man in front here because he have the mark of the Rasta man, his crown. we just pass the Ikels and the this and the that and the thing and the Alombis, like, you know what I mean? Motley and, you know, going down the road there. So we put that aside now. They may still be brothers because they could still come and join us if they want to. But we are not waiting for nobody to join us. We are going to make the move ourselves now. Forget the past and let me go forward. We got to have an organization that when we go to the establishment in this country, you know, then we know that we are serious. We've just got a link with China, and I hear the Prime Minister saying like we want all kind of businesses and things. You see, in this country now, a lot of people just buy this stuff through the Caribbean as well. But we just have to take good currency out of the Caribbean, carry it abroad, and then bring it back here to make a profit so we could live and we could pay our debts to society, and then you collect and you carry. Well, this is the middleman. I hear Mr. Thompson saying all the time he wants to cut out the middleman. Well, I would like to cut out the middleman because we've got contact in China now. And all of this stuff is made in China. I would like to know that I could go to China, buy it, bring it to the Caribbean and sell it through the Caribbean at a much more reasonable price too than when we have to go through the middleman. That the money that you have to give the company and the airplane, the thousands of dollars, and then like the hotel and all that money we bleed in the country, right? For something that we could import ourselves and distribute at a much better pricing. Barbados got enough land, and there's nothing that we import into Barbados that we cannot grow here really. Even down to strawberries, all them kind of things we could grow right here in Barbados. Enough things we could grow here, we don't have to import them. And if we give the Rasta a chance, give him a chance to prove himself, because right now the field say Rasta only have enough talk, but listen, they haven't given him the chance. Well, I'm asking the Rastas to give themselves a chance, and I'm asking this government, because Rastas have always prospered under the Democratic Labour Party. Listen, even their world, right? You see, like tourism, like we could set up things that, you know, I see in Jamaica, they got Rastas, got the little restaurants stuck away in some places that you wouldn't even think that people would go there, right? And listen, you see the tourists and some of the locals who's more up to like that sort of like sophistication will come out, you know, and spend the money because they're getting good service in a clean, safe environment. Rastas can produce these things in this country here for tourism as well. They would earn and Rasta would earn because Barbados belongs to we. It's our people, you know, not your people or my people. We as one Barbadians, we could help ourselves. And when people come asking for help, you got to analyze who you're dealing with and help them if they're genuine people. And right now I'm telling you, Rastafari want to grow one way or the other, with or without you. But I would rather it with.
So that was the voice of Moses, Ras Moses. And we asking the Rastafari brethren and sisters to listen carefully to the words that Moses have said. I'm Bongalite, and this is Ras Moses for Rastafari DVD News. Jah Rastafari, Selassie, Jah Rastafari.